The Lost Train Home. True story by Panic Spiral. I never used to believe in the stories people tell about late night trains. You hear things all the time. People talking about seeing someone who disappeared years ago. Nothing. Voices when the carriage is empty. Getting off at the wrong station and ended up somewhere they don't remember. I always assumed it was tiredness, too much to drink, overreaction, imagination. Then I started a new job in London. That meant taking the lost train home more than I wanted. One Thursday night, I missed my usual service by seconds. The door shut right in front of me. The display board said the next train to Farnborough was delayed 25 minutes. Waterloo Station was almost empty by then. A few cleaners, a couple arguing near the barriers, one man asleep against a pillar with his hood pulled over his face. I sat scrolling my phone until the platform numbers appeared. Platform 18. Said. I remember that because the platform looked darker than the others, like half the lights aren't working. There were only 3 other people waiting. A woman in business clothes, staring at nothing, an older man with a newspaper folded under his arms, and a teenager wearing headphones rocking slightly back and forth. The train arrived without the usual announcement. It just rolled in silently. That was the first thing that felt wrong. No screeching brakes, no conductor's voice, nothing. The doors opened and I got on. The carriage smelled strange. Not bad, just stale. Like old fabric and cold air. I sat near the middle. The woman got into the same carriage but sat far away. The old man stayed standing near the doors, and the teenager went into the next carriage, and the doors shut. Still no announcement. We pulled away. I checked my phone, no signal. It happened on the ground, so I ignored it. The weird part was how quiet everything felt. No conversations, no coughing, no rustling of bags, nothing. Just the low hum of movement, foxhole. Nobody got on. Nobody got off. The doors opened. It waited. Closed. Came at Clapham Junction. That's when I noticed old man. He hadn't moved. Still standing by the doors, head slightly lowered, completely still, so I looked away. Then glanced back, same exact position, like he hadn't breathed. I laughed to myself. Tired brain, that's all. And my phone buzzed. One message, no sender name, just a number. The message said, "Do not fall asleep." I actually laughed, thought it was some weird spam, and another message came. "Whatever you do, do not look at the end of the carriage." That was when my stomach tightened. I looked around, the woman was still there, staring down. The old man still hadn't moved. And I typed, "Who is this?" No reply. Then it notices when you look. At that point, I generally considered getting off at the next stop, but I didn't. Because I told myself this had to be some idiot prank. Then I heard movement behind me. Soft. Low. Like fabric dragging across the seat, and I froze. Every instinct said turn around, but I didn't. My phone buzzed again. Good. I stood up, walked towards the door. The old man suddenly lifted his head. His face looked pale, eyes wide, like he was terrified. Whispered, "Sit down." I said, "What?" He shook his head once. "Don't let it know you." "No." I actually laughed from panic. "No what?" He didn't answer. Just stared past me over my shoulder, and I felt cold. Horrible instinct when you know something's behind you. The doors opened at the next station. Nobody got off. Nobody got on. And the teenager from the next carriage sprinted past, full speed, not looking back. He smashed the emergency button on the doors. Nothing happened. Started screaming. Not words, just screaming. Then he stopped dead, like someone had hit the pause. He slowly turned around, looked into the next carriage, and walked back in calmly, like nothing happened. The old woman whispered, "Too late." I got off at the next stop station, didn't care where I was, ran straight into the platform. The woman in business clothes got off too. She grabbed my arm hard, looked me dead in the face and said, "Did you look?" And I said, "No." He let go immediately, walked away. I tried calling someone, no signal. The station worker eventually found me sitting on a bench. I asked what happened to the teenager. He looked confused, said, "What teenager?" I described him, headphones, black hoodie, young. The worker went pale and told me a boy matching that description died after being hit by the train 3 years ago earlier. I didn't believe him until I got hit home. Took my messages. The number that texted me no longer existed, but the messages were still there. One message had arrived while I was sitting on the platform. I hadn't seen it. It said, "You looked eventually." I haven't taken the train since, but sometimes I'm awake on the night. My phone loses signal. The message appears, "Next time, don't get off." This is a true story by Panic Spiral.